Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the last webinar of the series on project management for educators. Today's topic is project management principles applied in academic research projects. We have a very senior person with us. His name is Mr. Abdul Khalid. He's a senior general manager, information technology in Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services Limited. I'll give a short brief before we start and move into the webinar. He has over 2 decades of experience. He's an accomplished and well-regarded expert in the IT arena, particularly in the key facets of project architecture, planning, implementation, and execution. Having worked in various capacities at the Mahindra Group, he is rapidly rising to positions of increasing responsibility. He has served on the shadow board of Mahindra Finance Group as a key show and was chosen on several occasions to represent his organization at various national and international forums and competitions. So today we have Mr. Abdul Khalid who will brief and explain about this webinar. In the past webinar, what we have seen is we allocate around 5-10 minutes of time for the question and answer so that the participants can ask questions. But today we thought, as we have seen that nobody was asking questions, so we have turned it around. We have actually made a list of around 10 questions, which I would be sharing a Google link in the chat section in a while. That link would be live by until evening. I request all the participants to please participate in that quiz so that we will come to know about how we have delivered the entire session and what was the understanding in the last few webinars. And one lucky winner who attempts all the questions and all the answers are right will be eligible for a surprise gift from us. So I hope this session will also go very well and as far the last sessions that has been went. So yes, over to you, Mr. Khalid.
Yeah, thank you for the brief introduction, Nazim, and welcome everyone in the final and concluding session of PM series for the educator. I'm Abdul Khalid, and I'm going to discuss. So I'm not using the word train or teach, right? So I'm going to discuss about the PM principle, project management principles, and how this can be applied on managing the research project, right? So let me share the presentation. Yeah, the topic for today is project management principle in academic research projects, right? So the brief introduction already Nazim has given, but quick run through. I'm working as a senior group general manager in information technology, having 2+ decades of global experience. Okay, so I'll be bringing global experience on the table, especially on the project management. So before we start, I wish to pass a disclaimer that as my previous co-presenter have passed, that I'm not here to teach or train or give a gyan, especially on those who learned people like you, PhD holders and doctorate. Rather than I'll be discussing or making you aware the key principles or key takeaways I'll be discussing so that at the end of the session it will be very helpful for us that why this session we have attended. So when why you I also used to attend a lot of webinars and seminars. So when I'm coming out from the webinars and this seminar, often I used to tell, Are what we have discussed, what we have learned, because the presenter will be giving this much of gyan, this much of knowledge, this much of jargon, this much of theory, then actual objective is forfeited, right? So I have devised the session such a way that very limited knowledge, but it will surely retain in your memory, right? So before we start, I would like to start with a very positive anecdote. So there is something called sharpening the saw. So why I'm bringing this a short story here is that I told you that I'm bringing a 2+ decades of experience. Once I've attended a special training in US from Dale Carnegie, especially from Dale Carnegie University, which is the number one university as well as learning and development university in the world, which is listed in Nasdaq. So as one of the habit, which is nothing but the continuous learning, right? So, which is nothing but a sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw, if you see the screen, Okay, the woodcutter is cutting the tree, and a man who's asking a question to him, "Hey, what are you doing?" So this woodcutter asks him, like, "Don't you see? I am busy in cutting the tree." "Hey, you may be tired." "Yes, I'm tired." How been you doing this work?" "I'm doing from last 4 to 5 hours." "Oh, 5 to 5 hours. Why don't you sharpen your saw?" "Sharpen the saw? I'm too busy for sharpening the saw." Right? This is the answer this guy gives. So I want to draw your attention at this sharpening the saw or the continuous renewal of the habit, right? We are on the same stage. See, if you don't look at the pandemic scenario, so if you look at or reflect ourselves that how many of sessions or learning, continuous learning or webinars or training we have attended in past 1 year, right? We'll be able to know that we are not doing a continuous learning or journey. So as a term, Japanese term, they call it kaizen. There's nothing but a continuous learning. So I want to congratulate and thanks everyone for being here and being a part of the concluding session for the continuous learning. So this is the positive note or the positive anecdote I wanted to start. So as rightly said that given me the 6 hours to chop down a tree, I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the X. So at times you have seen that we'll be struggling, finding out or solving some problem. If you have already studied or if you already know, then it will be a easy cakewalk, right? Be it going on the road or going from one destination to other destination. If you know the route, then it will be very easy. Otherwise, if you don't know the route, the journey of half an hour can become 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours also, right? So let me start with the session, which I'll be discussing about the 5 key takeaways. When you are going with the session, you'll be taking the 5 key takeaways from me, or rather than I'll making you aware. We all are knowing it, right? It is not like it's a time of information revolution. The information is available on your fingertip. What not is available? Every excellent webinars, sessions from top people, top industry experts, subject matter experts are available on the internet. But why we are gathered here is I have already explained you to sharpen our saw, right? In the continuous learning journey. So we'll be developing and we'll be focusing and having a deep dive on 5 key concepts. Number one, I'll be touching upon the concept of the project management. If you ask me, is this a repetition? I would say yes, partially yes, but it not be fully. And second part would be, most funniest part or most, exciting part would be the questions, whatever I am going to cover through the course of my session or the journey. The same acronym, same questions will be appearing in the question and answer session. So this is a very opportunity, good opportunity to very be attentive and learn or understand. So it will be easy to answer those questions, right? And I don't know, you will be one of the luckiest or the winner to get a very, very exciting prize, right? So second topic would be the project charter. What is project charter? Then project plan, the concept of WBS, how the WBS can be applied on managing the research project. The final and the last is the Gantt chart, right? So we'll see how to apply this Gantt chart. See, one thing I want to make it clear here is that I'm not here to give and go in detail and explain how Gantt chart to be developed, what are the methodologies, how to do it. But I'll be throwing a light upon it, right? So once you go back and see, then you'll be aware like what exactly it is. So let me start with what is project, right? It is connected to the previous session and the webinar. So my first of all, this my co-presenter or co-peer have made my life very very easy. So I can have a liberty to go very fast at the very same time just to touch upon. If you discuss about the project, what is project is all about? If you ask anyone, so there is a misnomer or the misunderstanding is that there is something which is going from continuous, the project which is already delivered and gone into maintenance, people say that is also a project, but that is not a project. So few questions also got discussed. Project should have a beginning as well as end, and it should be a temporary in nature. And why it is used? It is used to create a product and the service. And you guys will be wondering why we are discussing in research management project, why this project? Because research management project is also a temporary endeavor in which you will be, at the end of the research, you will be concluding with your thesis or with your results, right? And you will be giving a scope or room for the further research, right? So the similar way, if you apply research projects, here is a project in the industry project, is nothing but it's a temporary endeavor to achieve something uniqueness or some unique product, services, right? With the end, with the beginning and the end, right? This is the definition of the project. Secondly, if you see, my peers have given a very good example. Like if you are a head of the family, then executing a marriage ceremony in a home, right? So we need not to plan, teach anyone the what is a project, right from arranging the venue, then arranging the chef, then what will be the menu, then where is the location, time, what will be the weather, number of this. So the head of the family is aware about how to plan it. But here we are talking about how to do the structured way, how to do a proper way where we can achieve a success, right? So I want to give a very good example here. Our life is also a project. We are working or we are acting as a project manager of our life. If you see, we are born, a date is given, and we are going to die, and that is also a destiny written, right? So at the end of the life, we're going to die. So the born and the day of our and the at the end of the day of our life, it's a project. We are managing day-to-day activities. So we are nothing but a project manager of ourselves. So here we'll be discussing how to handle, how to do a structured way, what are the keys, what are the principles, can be helpful or tools that are helpful to do it in the structured way to achieve a success, right? So we have learned about the process group, right? So there are 5 process groups. I don't want to go in the deep. I'm once again recapping it, so it will be easy to, I should not give a hint, but still, so it will be easy to answer the question answer session, and it's more than a 2 to 3 weeks, right? So we'll be again. There are 5 process groups, which are the very main to deliver successful project. What are those? One is initiating project, planning, executing, monitoring, control, and closing. So people will be, wondering. I don't want to go into the deep of everyone, but closure. So why closure? So closure is important because the way you have already done a project, okay, you would have gone through the risk methodology, the risk the available in that particular project, or maybe someone is going with the similar kind of a project. So if you write down the risk and register the risk registers and update it in the particular location of the directory, so that the someone who's falling into the same thing, right, or the same scenario, he need not to the reinvent the way. Similar fashion, the theses are available on many of the sites, right? So what are the learnings? So you have to do at the time of literature review. When you plan your research proposal, you read a lot of literature. What is the drawbacks, the advantage, disadvantage? What the research has already gone through, which will be easy. The closure is very important to notify and to keep it a record in the particular place or directory. Similar way, there are knowledge areas. Okay, what is knowledge areas? Knowledge areas is like these are the knowledge areas where project manager should be knowing about it. Okay, the integration, scope, time, cost, quality, HR, communication, risk, procurement, and the stakeholders. Stakeholders are very important in research project also and the industry project. stake project can make and break your project and responsible for your, for going live or successful delivering of the project. I've seen at the end of the project, people are nowhere connected and related, directly proportionate with the project. They come and they try to influence the project. If everything is noted down in the project charter and scoping, then you can say, hey, what are you doing in my project? You're not the stakeholder, right? And the similar fashion in the research project also. So as we know, the three main aspects of the projects are the iron triangle or the three constraint, the cost, the scope, and the time. The time and the cost are the indirectly proportionate. If you want to deliver the project at very fast level, right, the cost will increase. You have to put no more number of resources. If project your plan which is getting completed in a month, okay, and X cost is defined. If you're putting doubling or maybe 2x of resources, then your cost is going to increase. So, you'll have to manage. And secondly, it is next impossible to balance it, right? So that's what is called the triangle of constraint or iron triangle. So initiating a project, why initiation is required? And I said, after discussing on the basic concepts and touching on the project management and the key concept of the project, what is a project charter? So project charter is very important. Okay, it's a simple document wherein it will give a high level view to the sponsor in case of research management project, in case of the industry project. It will bring three entity into a same place. If I talk about a give an analogy in the industrial background, okay, so it's a management, the project manager, and the team member. So putting every three people on the same page. When you open up the project charter, okay, it is a compass guiding star which you'll be knowing, always referring it like what is happening in the project and what is the project charter. It should be appearing before the initiation and the planning. So when you initiate, the project charter should be made. I've seen the research project, writing the literature, research proposal, but this we are not doing it. But if you are know what is the use benefit, then it will be very helpful in the research projects also. So when we start any research project, right, each phase, new phase requires approval. When you begin, so it requires approval. So whether approval from the coordinator, from the institution, or the sponsoring agency. So approval is needed. When approval is needed, then you have to document in the project charter. So here I've tried to depict the picture here. Before integration or the planning, there is something called the project charter. So identify the stakeholder before that, scope it, and take the approval, and document and capture the key aspects, right? And we are going to discuss about what are the project charters key elements with respect to the industry, with respect to the research management projects. So when we initiate and plan, so there are three main key elements, okay, which I have highlighted here. One is project charter, which I have touched upon, we'll be discussing in due course. Secondly, the project plan, right? So come up with the project plan, how to develop a project plan. And I'll give an example in the, to explain how to come up with a project plan. And secondly is the project scope statement. When I say project scope statement, it's nothing but WBS, work breakdown structure. Okay, so there are three main key elements in initiation and planning. So it's a continuation to the project charter. I've told already, it's a simple document which authorizes project manager to start the project. Okay, actually it should be given a mandate from the top management or maybe the institution or the granting agency where we are applying the research or applying for the grant. But at time I've seen it, it's a duty or the job of the project manager to complete it, right? And to complete it, right? So these are the main elements, right? Requirement, business needs, then the business case is nothing but the problem statement in our research management projects. So what is these steps? right? The first key step is to identify the stakeholder. So I've already mentioned they are the influencing people, right? You have to properly identify your team members. If you know you're doing a research programs, then the graduate, undergraduate, improvement, the people are involved. So in this case, the institution can become the sponsorer, or the grant institution can become the sponsorer. So this is the example of the project charter which we have discussed in our earlier session, but I want to quickly run through. So which will be having the name of the project, and the champions who's going to who's going to be consulted. There'll be helping hand at times whenever we need their helps. The description, the mission, or the problem statement here. When you do a research, the research always revolves around between your problem statement. What is the problem statement you're defining, and you are finding out the probable solution with the hypothesis, right? And your everything, your methodologies, your way of researching, then theory, then reading a lot of papers will reveal around the problem statement. See, these are the known elements, but I've already told about, like, to keep everything at one place so that it will bring everybody into the same place. In a research we have seen, or it goes for 3 years, 4 years, sometimes 5 years. So the advisor, sometimes they leave and somebody comes, the project charter is there with them. It will be very helpful to see and find out where are we and what is happening. The deliverables, owners, right? The scoping is very much important, which is nothing but the one of the key element in the triangle of the project, right? Then the risk you have to assess and mitigate, foresee the risk. You're going to go through and document it and try to find out the probable solution also, right? These are the project charter derived from the industry standards. Similar way, I'm trying to map it. I'm trying to, give the scoping how this can be applied on the research management project, right? So this is the industrial project charter, and the research project how we can going to deal with it, right? So here you'll have the advisor, the advisee, the abstract of the academic research project, right? The objective of the research project is nothing but your problem statement, what you're going to achieve, right? The justification of the academic project. Then high level of the scoping, the limits, what the assumption is very important. It is not like, the area you're going to limit, or the district if you are going to research, or the district, or maybe a particular region, or a place you're going to do a research. That is very important. Otherwise, I've seen when you don't define, at time advisor or maybe the sponsor get confused, are going to, you know cover the entire India or entire globe in your research. That is very, very vast area. Then the technical requirement, your lab equipments, the reports you're going to perform, right? And the term. So term, and it's a very conflict, or maybe, the word which is conflicting with the research. If we know how long it is going to know and the output we're going to know, then it is no more a research project, right? But still, why we are giving the milestone? Because if you don't give a milestone, then we relax. Okay, we don't have a pressure within our team members that, the RDC is there now. We have to complete our literature review, right? Then we have to complete our thesis, or the project report by so and so time. What is the start date, end date? Milestones are very important to know where are we, and see where are we, behind the schedule or ahead of the schedule. Recommend, and it should be approved. This is nothing but the project charter, right? So the moment we are done with the project charter, then immediately we have to come with the planning. So at times, the planning we take for the granted, and as it is rightly said, we don't plan to fail, right? Nobody wants to fail, but the idea is that, or maybe the key element is that we plan to fail. We are not even planning, right? How, if at all we want to succeed, what should be the plans. Okay, what if suppose some team member, if we are having a team of 4 or 5 team member, what is the dependency? Whether he is having old age parents, right? He may be he has to go to the native frequently if he is coming from far away, or maybe he is getting married. A lot of risk will be there, and dependence is very high, which can derail your project. So it should be properly planned, right? Properly, otherwise we will not be able to achieve. There are tools and methods, right? Gantt charts are available, WBS are available. We'll be discussing. This is a high level of your planning. The duration versus the task. Okay, X versus the Y, and each week, quarterly, weekly, quarterly plan. The communication is very, very important to give communication back to your advisor or your guide. Okay, because I've seen maximum projects are failing because of communication. Okay, it can make or break your project. So let me give a very live example of what is communication. We know communication is very important. Okay, not one, I will give a 2 example. At time my manager says to me, hey Khalid, have you sent a mail, have you communicated? I said yes, I communicated. We are behind 1 week of our schedule. He said, how did you communicate? I said, I've sent a mail. No, he said communication has 2 ways, right? Notifying it, making sure that you have sent the communication either through a communication channel like email, phone call, or meeting, physically meeting them in person, communicating them that these are required, or we are behind the schedule, or these are the required, right? Communication. Second is to get the acknowledgement. If you don't get that acknowledgement, we are not sure whether it is communicated well. So it is a two-way process. Communicating yani this, we are informing them and getting back the feedback, reverse feedback. He has understood, he has received it, right? So this is what the communication. Now coming to the second example, which is a live example. We had to go for a very important uh, conference, paper conference, okay, at South Bombay. So I don't know how many of them are aware about the South Bombay, Wilson College, near to Wilson College. So one of my friend, I said, you meet me at so and so location, right, which is nothing but a freeway. So I've given the freeway. You meet me at at designated time. So I stay at Navi Mumbai. I'm coming from the east. He's coming from the west, right? So we have decided the time. We have decided the point of assembly. Then I am waiting. I've reached dot on time. Okay, whatever we have decided. Then he is calling me. No, then he reached. He is also reached on the time. He said he is calling and asking me, Khalid, where are you? I said, I've reached already. He said, I have also reached. I said, where you have reached? I said, I am at the starting of the freeway. I said, I'm also studying a freeway. Then he's saying, can you see one truck is passing by? I said, yes, I can see a truck is passing by. What is the color of the truck? He said, the white color. I said, I can see. But say, hey, don't joke. You tell me whether you have reached or not. You're getting late, and if we are late, then gates will be closed. Then I said, let me give a try. I said, oh, he may be coming from the west. So the opening of the freeway is from the west, and I've reached, since I'm coming from the west, so opening of the freeway is from the east. I'm waiting there. So we lost more than 15 minutes, and the gates were closed. We requested the arranger or the manager to open the gate somehow, and we could manage to. So this is a live example where communication plays a very, very important role. If you don't communicate well in advance with time, see, time and venue was defined, and he was really aware. But where we are going to meet, how we're going to meet, it was not certain. So communication is very important in project management, be it a research management project or industrial project. Okay, we have lost because of the communication, right? So these are the tool which will ensure you are on track. Okay, these are the x axis, and x and y axis is nothing but the duration, the time. Now coming to the plan. So the Gantt charts are there. I thought of, taking you through the Gantt chart, but due to some constraint, I will not be able to take the Gantt chart. But one thing is that, like, you can go and Google it. A lot of templates are available. In left hand side, you give the task, you give the start date, end date. You're done with the Gantt chart, then you monitor. There are dynamic Gantt charts are also available. So similar way, the way I've explained the project plan, similar way you can arrive on the academic research project plan. Okay, developer research for project plan. I'm giving the glimpse or the gist how you can come up with the research planning of the research management project, right? So here the title, the mobile number who are involved, they can be reached. The course is nothing but your title, advisor, okay, then the version of the document. If there are amendments, then you should update the version, the description, who's responsible, approval, right? The introduction, again, what is the theme, context, objective of the research, then the justification, okay, your context area, okay, the relevant area of the research, then the expected results, okay, the what are the studies you're going to read, the literature you're going to read, which will be contributing. So why we are going to put here? So if you give a single document which will take you through the entire journal, right, entire project. Okay, there are indexes, but indexes will be very, very short and crisp. But here, to know what is your research is all about, it will give a complete compass or a 30,000 aerial view of your project or your research. So now the third topic would be the work breakdown structure. I said like five key elements I'll be discussing about. The project charter is one, concept we have discussed, project charter second, then third is the planning, then WPS. Fourth is the WPS. So what is the WPS? See, the WPS is nothing but you are decomposing your research into smaller or the granular level which can be tracked. Okay, the deliverables, okay, can be gone to a last level where it can be tracked. Okay, so in previous session we have seen that if suppose a lecturer or the presenter who has come up to give a presentation, what will be the work breakdown structure for that particular thing. So here, if we are delivering a lecture, you'll be seeing like how to arrive or reach to the place. Then you should be knowing what are the stationaries, laptop required. Okay, whether it's a iPad, laptop, faculty arrangement, course material. So from delivering a session till the notebook or pen or pencil, you can go. So right from your research project also, from starting the research proposal, the research, going to the last thing, okay, how you're going to control. That is nothing but a work breakdown structure. And each one of the element should have the start and end to know how we are about our schedules, right? So activities we're going to perform, we have discussed all every in last session. So if you ask me how we're going to apply the work, okay, structure, work breakdown structure on our research projects. So here I am calling research advisory breakdown structure. Similar way, it is a hierarchical structure which will allow or give a visualization to the last level, or it will allow the project or the advisor or maybe a guide to know that where are you standing in terms of the particular element of the project. So here I'm trying to depict the possible elements of the academic research project. So here we have to do the complete project management of our research project, all possible communication management, monitoring control, WBS. Then your planning should be here, okay, with your timelines, right? Of course, with the cost, budgeted cost, right? And the your conceptualization. When you conceptualize your idea, then you have to give initial title. Then you have to have a proper research problem statement, and you have to have arrive with your timelines. Then outline, you have to the outline how you're going to arrive on, proving your point or the concept. You have to define the hypothesis. Then how you're going to carry out the research, right? So what are the table of contents? What are the approach? What are the methodologies you're going to apply? What are the tests you're going to perform? What will be the expected result, right? You have to note down. Then the final result, then complete conclusions, then closing of the project. So this is the work breakdown structure, which is nothing but research advisory breakdown structure to depict or give a gist about the work breakdown structure in academic research project. Now, the last topic would be the Gantt chart. So it's very helpful or can be made in Excel sheet. You need not to have a Microsoft projects or a very high funded tools to monitor your project, right? So there is a saying like, if you can uh, kill an ant, okay, with a bullet, you need not to have maybe cannon or the battalion. So we at times get confused that we will be having the MS project, Microsoft project, or any other companies big project can be, tools can be brought. We can manage your project or give a glimpse. But at times you forget that a lot of tools are available with your in your laptop, or maybe you are aware of it, but you don't know how to use it. Excel we are using only for very basic plus minus pivot, okay, for maintaining records, but we are not using for the scientific calculation also, right? To managing our household planning, budgeting. Here is example of the Gantt chart. So for first of all, why Gantt chart? I've explained that. So to manage your project, to manage a schedule, to manage a time, Gantt chart is there. Okay, it will give you that where are you standing in terms of project. Okay, it will improve the communication. Your guide or your advisor, your team member, if multiple people are involved, need not to be aware that where are we. We should have been in this particular month of the year. You should be here. We should have completed this particular activity. This task should have been completed. Okay, this task is lagging. Okay, and it will give a dependency, and it will tell you which tasks are going to get parallel. If suppose you're writing research proposal, then at the very same time you have to arrange for certain equipment also. It can go parallel also, right? But the dependency about the activities, and it will give you the resource planning also, and to measure the progress, which is the advantage. So in nutshell, okay, in all, I have covered the five key elements of the project management. Once again, I will recap. First is we have touched base on what is project is all about, what is project management is all about. Okay, what are the groups? What are the key elements? Okay, initiation the project, the planning of the project, then you monitor and control, right? Then you properly close it, right? Similar way, if you know the principles, right? So we are all learned. It is not like we are in our college, or maybe we are a very elementary school. We are all learned people. If we know the concept, the only it is know how, like how this concept can be mapped or can be applied in our research. Then we have discussed about planning. Okay, why planning is required, right? Very good example my fellow or previous presenter has given. Everything is revolve around, anything you do should be planned, right? From planning of your kids examination, okay, so or preparation of his subject, you have to plan well, right? In the similar way, going from a destination A to destination B, planning is required. Right? When you're going to B, you may be knowing, like you should be knowing what is the weather, whether you have to carry the winter clothes or not, what are the geopolitical situation out there, how long it is going to take. Okay, if you're going by your car, you have to fuel your car. Okay, if tolls are there, then you have to, if tag is there, you have to fuel. So, in nutshell, everybody is a project manager of their life, and they're doing their project management in their all walks of life. But here we are not doing through a structured way or to a planned way. There are tools and techniques, the tips and tricks. Okay, the project charter, then WBS, then you have a Gantt chart. Time is very limited and the subject is very, very vast. First of all, it's a project management. As we have said, the project management sessions are going months together, right? So if you want to understand the entire project management, it requires month together. Courses are there available. You can go and subscribe and Google it and learn. And top of that, we're discussing on the research management, how to apply this principle on the research management program. It is very tough, and I'll be not doing a justice with the topic that covering the research academia projects with the industrial life. So let me end with the one of the funny story that you guys tell that someone is coming from the industry background and who's giving the lecture and theory. But well, we guys are well connected with the academia world, and I want to end with the funny session or the funny story of one of my friend. Okay, so we have studied together, school as well as engineering. Then he got into the IIT PhD program, residential program. So he completed his PhD from IIT Bombay, and we got into our industry life. So after after some 3 or 4 years, he came back to me and said, Khalid, why don't you do an arrangement? I wanted to start a career in industry. I said, well, not a problem. I'll do something for you. So I did an arrangement. He started working with us. By the way, he is the HOD and the head of the research PhD program, as well as the head of the engineering college, right? So he started working in the industry, and as you know, we guys are working in pressure cooker, meeting the timelines, and multiple things are happening parallelly. It's not like academia world. The things are happening sequentially. Like once you're done with the lecture, then examination backlogs are there, and then preparation. Somebody's are engaged in the research, then you have to go and to research and applying grants. But the life is relaxed in the academic world. But I don't want to comment, but I feel so. You may be having your own pressures and on your world, but to me it's like if you compare the industry world and the academia world, so industry world is bit pressurized. Okay, so again after 1 month he came 1 month passed by, he came to me and said, Khalid, I want to quit. Hey, you want to quit? I said, yes, really, I want to quit. He said, this industry world is not for me. I want to go back to my own academia world. It is well suited and well for me. So I have a very high respect and a high regard for you guys who are coming from the academia world. You are the light bearer. Okay, you are shaping the career of the people and your institution. So by this session, okay, I have tried my best to give a glimpse about the project management principle, how it can be applied, which will be beneficial for your career as well as your it can add value to your institution. So with this funny note, I want to close my session. I wanted to open the floor for the quiz. As we have reformatted our session, there won't be any question answer session. There will be a quiz because we have seen very few question and answer. But the people are asking the Q&A. So rather than we have reversed the format, which our moderators already announced at the beginning of the session. So I'm opening the floor for the quiz, and whomsoever is going to give the best or most right answers is going to get the exciting prize. And you have to wait for the exciting prize. It will going to get the courier to your place. And one more important announcement, that please write your address properly so that your gift can reach properly, right? So I would like to ask our moderator to please come and take the Q&A session, right? Thank you very much. Thanks for being with us and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Khalid. I must say it was a wonderful way to conclude the session. by summarizing the important topics that was covered in the previous webinars as well. So yes, as rightly said, we will have few questions if there is any, as this is the last webinar. So if there is any questions from the participants, we could take it. I would request Mr. Khalid also to please stop the screen sharing. So
Yeah, please. Sure, I'll do it.
yeah. So yes, we can take questions if there are any. What I'll do is I'll just share the link of the quiz. Just 1 minute in the chat section. You can type your question. You can raise your hand. Anything. I can read out a question if there is any. Also, before we conclude this last session, I would like to show you a small video of around 2-3 minutes how project management is really helpful in our day-to-day lives, and it's a case study of a company, Octaware Technologies, where they recently implemented project management practices in one of the project named as Indo-US Cancer Aid 2020, and they won an award for this by the Project Management Institute under the category of contribution to the community. So I'll just share that video with you, please. Maybe it's just a short 2-3 minutes video which would also help to summarize the session very well.
Yeah, we can present the video.
Yeah, just 1 minute. I hope the screen is visible to everyone. Yeah.
Can we have a voice, please? Can we increase the voice?
Sorry?
Can we increase the volume a bit?
The volume is full from my side, I think.
Yeah, please play.
that was a small video. So is there any question? We could have a question. You can raise your hand, unmute yourself, ask the question. By the time I'll just find the link, I can share the link of this video as well with you. Okay, so here is the link of the video which we recently viewed. And as we were discussing about the quiz, I'll share that link as well. So yes, this is the Google form link where the questions are there. I would request everyone to please participate in this. We will keep this link active until evening, so you could refer to the past webinars as well. Our channel is GoBiz Lab on YouTube. You could just simply search on YouTube and you will get the previous videos as well, just to refer for the questions that has been asked in the Google form. Today's webinar video will also be uploaded in the next 1 hour. So you could refer to today's video as well. So I hope there are no questions as always, because last 3 webinars also we didn't have any questions. So I think we could conclude the session of the last webinar. Thank you, Mr. Khalid, for your time. It was really a wonderful session. And thank you for all the participants for joining in for these 4 webinars and for the entire series. We will soon plan another series for you as well. So yes, thank you very much for the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.